What defines Kite Tenjo, the elusive number hunter, rival to Yuma and son of Dr. Faker, motivated by his desire to save his brother Heart? In this video, we'll be covering the immense introduction of Kite Tenjo. Now this is a character who starts off like a machine. He is fully driven by his desire to collect as many numbers as possible, and initially that's all he seems to care about. However, this creates an intimidating, almost ominous presence, and I think it's a brilliant way to introduce this character. When we first see Kite, we see him from a low angle, and he's far away enough so that we can't really see the details of his face. And directly after this we have the same thing, where the majority of his face is obscured by a shadow. This was an intentional choice, and I think it works well to build some tension and intrigue around this new mysterious character. And the first words he says are "number confirmed. Let's begin the hunt." And then he jumps off a bridge. He free falls over the city as his robotic companion follows behind him and forms into a wingsuit. Meanwhile, there's a criminal possessed by a number holding hostages at a shopping center. Our protagonist, Yuma, happens to be in that shopping center and notices a silhouette flying above. I wonder what that could be. Kite smashes through the ceiling, lands, and freezes everything around him. And the only people allowed to move in this area will be holders of number cards, and that's how Kite is immediately able to locate what he's looking for. He simply starts to whistle and walks through the shattered shards of glass. He approaches the man who is holding the hostages, and he asks Kite, "Who are you?" Kite responds by saying, "I'm the light that shines on the shadows inside a person's heart. People call me the number hunter." And it's at this point that we see Kite's full face for the first time, not obscured by any shadows or objects in the way. I think this is significant because this happens as he says, "People call me the number hunter," which is potentially subtly implying that that's his whole identity, just being the number hunter. And his introduction would indicate that that's his sole focus at the moment. Now, taking the introduction in context with the rest of the series, he is not a villain. And throughout the series, there's not really many actions he takes which aren't justified. However, the way he's introduced almost insinuates that he is a villain. So keep that in mind as we go over the next part, because it's going to start to make sense. Kite realizes that the hostage taker doesn't even know what a number card is, and the excitement on his face when he makes this realization is hinting towards the fact that Kite might actually enjoy taking these number cards, as the excitement on his face comes from the fact that his job is going to be easy. And after undergoing his photon transformation, he says, "I'm going to hunt your soul." So you might be starting to understand why I say that he's introduced like a villain. However, I do really enjoy this approach. He appears kind of one-dimensional at first, but what this does is create some intrigue into his character. Making him mysterious naturally makes the viewer curious as to what else there is to him. And as expected, Kite easily defeats his opponent and takes his number card. He wins with Galaxy Eye's Photon Dragon, his ace monster. However, we don't see much of it. Similar to Kite, we don't see Galaxy Eye's Photon Dragon in its full detail, but instead a mysterious, powerful force. Once his opponent is defeated, Kite reaches out with his photon hand and claims the number for himself. However, along with this, he takes the life force of his opponent. He takes his soul, giving merit to what he said before about being the soul hunter. The man seems to age rapidly in a second and collapses to the floor in a sweat. Kite only looks down at the number that he's collected and says "number retrieval complete," showing no remorse for the damage that he's caused to this man. At this point in the series, Kite is relentless. He seeks out numbers and takes them, not caring about the damage that he causes along the way. He has a single goal on his mind, and he's not going to let anyone stop him. He leaves just as quickly as he arrived, and Yuma rushes over to the criminal, observing what exactly has happened to him. This is an important moment because it shows that Yuma has a reason to be scared of Kite. When we see Kite's brother, Heart, we see what the power is that he possesses, and he's almost controlled by this power, as if he's obsessed with it. What he's actually doing is destroying Astral World, but the way this makes him behave is exactly what Kite is trying to stop, because Heart is a shadow of his former self. We'll talk more about this soon, but first, we need to go over Kite's visit to Mr. Heartland, where he seems to express concern for the souls that he's taking. We see that it doesn't quite sit right with him that it has to be done that way. However, Mr. Heartland convinces him that it's the only way. This is an important moment because it shows that Kite is reluctant to take souls. However, he believes it's the only way to achieve his goal, which is to cure his brother, and to do that he must collect all the numbers. But by collecting numbers, he must also take souls. And when Kite goes to visit Heart, he asks him how he's doing. Heart asks him, why is everyone laughing? And before Kite has a chance to respond, he continues by saying, I don't need the sound of laughter, I need screams. Kite is clearly disturbed by this, as he knows that this is out of character for his brother, and that he used to be different. And then Heart asks his brother another question, saying, am I weird? And Kite says no, you're just having a bad dream, and I promise to wake you from that dream. Kite just wants his brother to be normal again, and that's why he's collecting these numbers. In the scene just before, where he talks to Mr. Heartland, he shows remorse for what he's done, and we learn that he doesn't actually enjoy what he does. However, after seeing his brother, he realizes that he simply has to do this. If he ever wants his brother to be back to normal, he has to collect all of the number cards. Despite knowing that what he's doing is wrong, from his perspective he has no choice. We see Yuma and Astral talking, and Kite's introduction is significant to both of them because they realize there's another person out there trying to collect all the numbers, meaning they will inevitably meet and have to duel. Something significant about this moment in particular is it's the first time we see Astral scared, trying to warn Yuma that this isn't just any other duelist. And shortly after this, as Yuma is walking down the street, it starts to rain. And as he's running to get out of the rain, he leaves Tori behind. And a truck rapidly approaches, and then Yuma and Tori die. And then everything freezes just like it did at the shopping center, and Kite appears. Yuma asks him who he is, but he completely ignores his question and states that in this area only someone with a number can move, and that's how I know you have a number card. Astral tells Yuma to run away, sensing that Kite is too dangerous to face, but Kite makes sure that Yuma can't escape, and they have to duel. And Astral's fears are proven to be justified as Kite manages to summon 2 number cards in his first turn. And all Yuma does in his first turn is set a monster face down in defense position, and he manages to survive Kite's 2 attacks from his number cards. However, then he brings out his ace monster. For the first time, we get a good look at Galaxy Eye's Photon Dragon. On Yuma's turn, he manages to bring out Utopia, and he powers it up with blustering winds, but it's not enough to destroy Galaxy Eyes, because it has an effect. Galaxy Eyes banishes both monsters for the battle phase, and then gains 500 attack for each of the overlay units that Utopia had. So when it comes back to Kite's turn, he attacks with Galaxy Eyes, unable to destroy Utopia because it's a number card, but dealing damage to Yuma, and then activating Photon Wind, which does another 1000 damage. It comes back to Yuma's turn, and he summons Leviathan Dragon, and then activates Cross Attack so that Utopia can attack Kite directly. However, Kite's trap Luminize negates the attack and powers up his Galaxy Eyes. Astral and Yuma make a plan to set the trap card Mirror Mail, as they believe it will help them make a comeback. However, this plan is immediately dismantled, as soon as Kite starts his turn, he summons Photon Cerberus, which prevents trap cards from being activated. Kite wins. All he has to do is attack, but Orbital interrupts and shows him that his brother has collapsed. This is an important moment because it shows that Kite does value his brother over everything else. He's on the verge of victory and claiming multiple numbers, but as soon as he finds out that Heart might be in danger, he immediately abandons the duel. This whole introduction is effective because it sets up Kite as a character. It both establishes his core values, showing that he'll do anything for his brother, as well as effectively setting him up as a threat and a very skilled duelist, showing him easily defeating the criminal, being able to summon 2 numbers in one turn, and having the ability to make Astral scared, leaving both Yuma and Astral rattled as he evacuates the duel on the verge of victory. If you made it this far, thanks for watching, and subscribe to make sure you don't miss the next one. Let me know in the comments what your favourite moment from Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal was and why, and I'll try my best to respond to as many as I can.